Okay, first things first.
Shadow is on the ground. Repeat, Shadow is on the ground. Chief Williams, Team Ortiz, Manova, Prieto team, move. Time to get some insight.
Manova is under coordinated crossfire. Check for long-range turrets helping to get the target.
Comms have been disrupted. Okay, so then we can just progress through here till we get to the uplink tower. Because, as you can see here, disrupted communications. Those will be under the assignments. All things we can do to try and help ensure that Kirahi and his people survive this mission.
Something scrambled. They're targeting. We've got a shot. Chief Williams, take the heat off Manavai.
That's another reason why it makes sense to have Ashley go with him. All due respect to Caden, she's a soldier, so she's, of course, a really good shot. She's really good with her weapons, which is what Kirahi needs right now at the moment. Someone who is really skilled in combat. Caden can hold his own, but Ashley is a soldier. And a good one at that.
They're calling SAT strikes. Jayeto, watch for comm stations. Williams, can you see anything?
Alright. Ah. So that also helped disrupt their satellite link. Krogan. We must have already taken care of it there.
Aircraft heading to perimeter stations to recharge. Bunker up before they come back.
Okay, there's a refueling platform over here. So I'll explore this area over here. Okay, so we'll go across over here to the refueling platform. Quick though to grab this. Alright. make sure I'm going the right way. Alright. Just want to also make sure my guys have the right weapons equipped. Very nice. Destroy the gas flyers.
Air threat has not materialized. Maybe getting some help. Shadow.
Nice job, Liara. If you're wondering why I chose to bring Liara instead of Tali storyline-wise, I'd like to think this, what's going to happen here is going to help Liara going forward, having that personal knowledge of what happens.
Hold the line.
Of what happens here kind of going forward as we progress towards making her the Shadow Breaker. I'm sorry, the Shadow Broker. I don't know where that came from. Did I miss a doorway? This is another way to help out Kirhi coming up here.
We've got access to base security. We should be able to cut the alarms from here. Might even be able to trigger alarms on the far side of the base. It'll clear out the guards for us, but they might be too much for the Solarian teams to handle.
Just disable the alarms. We can handle any guards inside.
And that right there is also going to help out Kirhi and increase his chances of surviving. Hold on. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Hello? Is someone out there?
The indoctrinated Solarians. That's an interesting conversation.
Give a little ground, Williams. We don't want them to bunker up. Draw them out.
Oh, you're not a Geth. And you're not wearing a lab coat. I guess I'm glad to see you. Lieutenant Gonto Imnes of the 3rd Infiltration Regiment, captured during recon. I assume the fleet was called in to destroy the base?
The transmission wasn't clear. The fleet's not coming.
I see. Then you must be the infiltration team. I know the captain. He will want this facility destroyed. My team was altered, indoctrinated. He knew about the breeding grounds. But the indoctrination is a greater threat, and far more horrifying. I watched good people reduced to mindless husks. There wasn't anything left. Others died during the experiments. I envy them.
Do you know anything about the experiments they were conducting?
They were studying indoctrination. Symptoms, progress. Saren uses it to control his people, but I don't think he fully understands it. I don't know much else. I just saw what it did to the others. Turned them into empty husks. I can't end up like that, please. Let me out.
If I let you out, how do I know you won't just attack me?
It's obvious that I'm not crazed or drooling like the others. Let me out and I'll stay out of your way.
Sorry, I can't take that chance. I'm not opening your cell.
No, don't leave me here. Please.
They are no threat to anyone save themselves. Their minds are gone.
Why did Saren do this? There's just no reason.
Leave them. Let's get moving.
Sometimes you must accept there is nothing you can do to help. It is a great pity.
If I recall, if I let him out, he actually, like, goes kind of nuts and attacks me. I remember that happening at some point. Maybe it was the other with the other guy, but I honestly don't remember. But I recalled that happening. I was like, oh, well, I guess I need to just leave them in there. Whether they die by the nuke or whether they get indoctrinated, they're done for.
What do you want? I told you everything. Who are you? Alliance, right? I knew someone would come. It tried to break me, but it couldn't. I shut it out.
Slow down. I need to know where you came from.
Private Nano Savat of the 3rd Infiltration Regiment.
Or maybe it was this guy.
Captured while on reconnaissance 6 days ago. Glad to answer, man. Never any questions from these bastards. Just whispers and poking and cutting. I'd said anything to get out and get some payback. That's not too much to ask, is it? A little payback?
What did they do to you, soldier?
Experiments, but I don't know what for. The effect of incessant whispering on my shortening temper? Who knows? I just need out.
Something is not right here, Shepard.
Setting him free could endanger the mission.
No. I need to get out. This room is too small and it keeps talking and I really want to get out of here and get some work done. I need to get out. Let me out.
I can't take that chance.
Can't take that chance. No chance. I need to do what it says. I have to. Let me out. Let me out! Let me out! Let me out!
That's what I was remembering. Yeah. Loot. Loot. The maintenance bay. Trying to make sure this isn't the correct direction to go. Nope. Can't even go out that way anyway. Hold on a second. Let's turn the music down. Sorry, it was just kind of getting noticeable. Noticeably loud during those conversations. called this supposed to be the right way to go. Hi, Husks.
What is going on here? Where are the guards? Where is Saren? No, stay back. This is important work. This is the glorious salvation of my species. You will not destroy the work we have started.
It's funny, there's another Krogan that I know that actually thinks the opposite. And approved of what happened here. In terms of me destroying the place. Yes, I am referring to Okir. We'll talk a bit more about him when we get there. Level up. Okay. Lift is unlocked. Alarm disabled. Okay. Hello, Rana.
Don't shoot! Please, I just want to get out of here before it's too late.
So, yeah, I think I'm gonna actually do something a little different here than before, because I know what happens to this woman and what she ends up doing. And, yeah, considering what happens later, it's probably better if I go this route, because, well, I'll let you guys see it in just a moment here. As long as I do this right.
I'm not gonna hurt you. Who are you?
Ranathanoptis, neurospecialist. But this job isn't worth dying over, or worse. You think the indoctrination only affects prisoners? Sooner or later, Saren will want to dissect my brain too.
Give me one reason I should help you.
I can help you. This elevator behind me goes to Saren's private lab. I can get you in. See? Full access. All of Saren's private files. Are we good? Can I go?
What were you studying here?
It's that ship, Sovereign. It emits some kind of signal. Undetectable, but it's there. I've seen the effects. Saren uses it to influence his followers, to control them. It's called indoctrination. Direct exposure to the signal turns you into a mindless slave, like the Solarian test subjects. But there's collateral damage, too.
What do you mean by collateral damage?
Sovereign's signal is too strong. Spend too much time near the ship and you feel it, like a tingle at the back of the skull. It's like a whisper you can't quite hear. You're compelled to do things, but you don't know why. You just obey. Eventually, you just stop thinking for yourself. It happens to everyone at the facility. My first test subject was the man I replaced. Now I just want to get out of here before it happens to me.
Tell me more about this signal.
Signal's not exactly the right word. There's some kind of energy field emanating from the ship. It changes thought patterns. Over time, days, maybe a week, it weakens your will. You become easier to manipulate and control, but it's a degenerative condition. There's a balance between control and usefulness. The less freedom a subject maintains, the less capable it becomes.
Why is Saren researching this? Isn't he the one controlling it?
The signal comes from the ship. It makes us obey Saren, but I don't think he controls it. Not exactly. I think he's scared it might be affecting him. Indoctrination is subtle. By the time the effects become noticeable, it's usually too late.
So, here's what I'm going to be doing. Here's the thing. We find out more about this Rana Thanoptis by the time we get to 3. Yes, she makes a cameo in 2, but we actually find out in 3 that by this point she was already indoctrinated. At least the effects were already starting to be put there, and it gets worse over time. To the point where then later on, if she survives this place, she ends up causing us some problems in 3. Like, as in, like, killing some high-ranking Asari that could have aided us in 3. And then I believe she eventually kills herself afterwards. So yeah, this woman is already indoctrinated. She's going to kill some very helpful, innocent Asari later on if we let her live by the time we get to 3. So yeah, she's dying.
You conducted brutal experiments on helpless test subjects.
I'm putting her out of her misery.
Saren, you don't...
Before she murders other people.
Did what I was told. I didn't have a choice. I'm sorry.
Sorry doesn't help your victims.
No! No!
Trust me, Rana, you're far better off. That was a mercy compared to what happens to you later if you live. Okay, now. What is about to happen is one of the most awesome and epic moments in the entire series. Now, up until this point in the game, you know, the whole thing about, oh man, this ship Sovereign and that Saren has, boy, it looks like some ancient Reaper ship he found that he got to work, and boy, Saren being able to do this whole indoctrination thing via this ship Sovereign and utilize it, wow, you know?
Commander, look over here. It's another beacon, like the one on Eden Prime.
I want you to take note of the change in music here. Because things are about to get more serious. We've been speculating about the whole thing about, oh man, this whole thing about him bringing the Reapers back, and, you know, it hasn't necessarily, you know, it's been one of those things, but we weren't entirely sure about the severity or seriousness of it, how legit it was. This is the moment where things kind of flip on its head and you start to have the realization of just how important and serious this all really is. And any doubts about whether or not, you know, who's, you know, really kind of running the show here and what's really going on become crystal clear at this point.
This is not good.
You are not Saren.
What is that? Some kind of VI interface?
That voice.
Rudimentary creatures of blood and flesh. You touch my mind, fumbling in ignorance, incapable of understanding.
I do not think this is a VI.
There is a realm of existence so far beyond your own, you cannot even
This moment, this conversation with Sovereign, this is one of my favorite moments in the entire series, because this is really the first time we really get to actually just like, it starts to hit. Even Shepard's here going to have the realization that this isn't like Saren found some unactive ancient Reaper ship that he's now utilizing the tech of in order to pull this off. Because we've been speculating that Saren's been the one doing all this, and we've been like, why is he doing all this? It's been unclear as to why Saren would be wanting to do all this stuff. Now it becomes perfectly clear. This isn't something that that Saren is doing. This is Sovereign who is truly running the show here. And now it all makes perfect sense. Of course they would be doing this, because if Sovereign is the one who is pulling the strings and running the show, now it all just becomes, it clicks just like that. Like, oh, now I get it. So first off, yes, I love his voice. Oh my gosh, I love Sovereign's voice. I also love the way he's talking to us. Pay attention to the way he's talking about these things. Like, rudimentary creatures of blood and flesh, you touch my mind and fumbled in the dark. It's like, everything about us is so far beyond your comprehension that you can't even imagine it. He's constantly talking down to us, and talking in the way of, well, I could explain these things to you, but what's the point? You're too, insignificant compared to me that you couldn't even be able to understand anything I explained to you. Just that type of arrogance and superiority that Sovereign displays here as we're talking with him, as we're trying to get info from him as to why they're doing this and why the Reapers do this, and he's just like, oh, I could explain to you, but what's the point? It's just something I like that it adds to Sovereign, and it's something that we're gonna be experiencing with some of the other Reapers going forward, including Harbinger and at least one other that we encounter later on.
Sovereign isn't just some Reaper ship Saren found. It's an actual Reaper.
Reaper, a label created by the Protheans to give voice to their destruction. In the end, what they chose to call us is irrelevant. We simply are.
The Protheans vanished 50,000 years ago. You could not have been there. It's impossible.
Organic life is nothing but a genetic mutation. An accident. Your lives are measured in years and decades. You wither and die. We are eternal, the pinnacle of evolution and existence. Before us, you are nothing. Your extinction is inevitable. We are the end of everything.
There is an entire galaxy of races united and ready to face you.
Confidence born of ignorance. The cycle cannot be broken.
Cycle? What cycle?
The pattern has repeated itself more times than you can fathom. Organic civilizations rise, evolve, advance, and at the apex of their glory, they are extinguished. The Protheans were not the first. They did not create the Citadel. They did not forge the mass relays. They merely found them. The legacy of my kind.
What's interesting is that because we know a bit more about this, especially via the Leviathan DLC that came out in Mass Effect 3, it makes what Sovereign is telling us kind of interesting, doesn't it? Because some of this are just straight up lies. Because as we find out from the Leviathan, some of this is true, yes, but Sovereign's not telling us the entire story. We'll even ask him, like, where did you come from? And he'll, well, you'll hear him. I'll point it out when we get there.
Why would you construct the mass relays, then leave them for someone else to find?
Your civilization is based on the technology of the mass relays. Our technology. By using it, your society develops along the paths we desire. We impose order on the chaos of organic evolution. You exist because we allow it, and you will end because we demand it.
They are harvesting us, letting us advance to the level they need, then wiping us out.
Again, just thinking about what the Leviathan told us in Mass Effect 3 about some of these things, about how the reason they made the relays was that the galaxy became an experiment, utilizing it to speed up, the progress of civilizations to a certain point to get the data they needed and then harvest them to collect more data. And again, to reemphasize this, the Leviathan said that after every single harvest, a new Reaper is created. Now think about how many Reapers that we see by the time we get to Mass Effect 3, or even in the final shot of Mass Effect 2 when we see them emerging from dark space. The thousands, if not millions, of Reapers that are out there. How many civilizations have been harvested to create each of those Reapers? It's kind of horrifying when you think about it.
What do you want from us? Slaves? Resources?
My kind transcends your very understanding. We are each a nation, independent, free of all weakness. You cannot even grasp the nature of our existence.
It also, follow up what I'd said, remember, the Leviathan also said that the point and purpose of what they were doing was to try and prevent organic life from killing each other, because the whole point was that they wanted the organic lives to continue to pay tribute to them and serve them, but if they kept killing themselves, well, as he said, tribute does not flow from a dead race. So they had to they created the AI in order to find the answer to the purpose of how to, I guess, preserve life, or I forget how he puts it, but it's interesting that this is all still serving that same original purpose when you think about it. Now, here's the interesting question. Who created you?
Where did you come from? Who built you?
We have no beginning.
Lie.
And we are infinite. Millions of years after your civilization has been eradicated and forgotten, we will endure.
Yeah, obviously Sovereign is lying to us there and withholding that information, I'd like to think the Reapers have tried to purposely forget about the Leviathans and their creators. Probably because of how they think that the Leviathans don't matter anymore or are insignificant to them. So now this next part I like because of what Sovereign says. This is really just kind of like ominous about what happens later on in regards to when the Reapers show up.
Where are the rest of the Reapers? Are you the last of your kind?
We are Legion. The time of our return is coming. Our numbers will darken the sky of every world. You cannot escape your doom.
I love that quote. Our numbers will darken the sky of every world. You may think, he can't mean that literally. But when you think about it, considering how many Reapers we see later on, he probably literally means that. We have so many Reapers, we will literally darken the sky of every world in the galaxy. Because we can.
You're not even alive. Not really. You're just a machine, and machines can be broken.
Your words are as empty as your future. I am the vanguard of your destruction. This exchange is over.
Commander, we got trouble.
Hit me, Joker.
That ship's Sovereign? It's moving. I don't know what you did down there, but that thing just pulled a turn that would shear any of our ships in half. It's coming your way, and it's coming hard. You need to wrap things up in there fast.
This console is no longer functioning. Ideas, Commander Shepard?
Let's head to the breeding facility. Joker can pick us up after we set the nuke.
So yeah, pretty awesome and epic conversation there with Sovereign. You'll notice that there is a different approach to the Reapers, especially Harbinger, when we get to Mass Effect 2, compared to Sovereign here, because Sovereign, as I said, just oozes arrogance. Sovereign doesn't think we're a serious threat at all.
Williams, head them off. Hold them.
Like, he legitimately thinks that we are no threat whatsoever. So he's not taking us seriously in the slightest. Compare that to Harbinger in 2, who does take us seriously. Because we killed Sovereign. We did something they didn't think was possible. We took down one of their own. And that changed things. Which is part of the point of Mass Effect 2. Or why Mass Effect 2 happens, is that we change things, and it caused the Reapers to do things differently because we did something they didn't expect us to do. And that's something that the Elusive Man will point out later. Oh, trust me, I'll talk about him when we get there.
That turret can punch some nasty holes in the Normandy.
Shepard, get off that railing!
Up the elevator.
Good work on the gun, Shadow Team. Now it's our turn. That's it. We need to clear the gate and set those charges. Charges set. Everyone bunker down. Bunker down.
All right! Nice work. That's one less thing to worry about. Commander, I'm bringing us in. I'll get as close to the site as I can.
Bomb is in position. We're all set here.
Commander, can you read me?
The nuke is almost ready. Get to the rendezvous point, Williams.
Negative, Commander. The Geth have us pinned down on the AA tower. We've taken heavy casualties. We'll never make the rendezvous point in time.
Get them out of there, Joker, now!
Negative! It's too hot! Can't risk it! We'll hold them off as long as we...
It's okay, Commander. I need a couple of minutes to finish arming the bomb. Go get them and meet me back here.
Up to the AA tower. Move!
This time I'll bring Tally. Just ran right past us, pal.
Reinforcements. We better hurry.
Heads up, LT. We just spotted a troop ship headed to your location.
It's already here. There's gas pouring out all over the bomb site.
Can you hold them off?
There's too many. I don't think we can survive until you get here. I'm activating the bomb.
Alenka, what are you doing?
I'm just making sure this bomb goes off, no matter what. It's done, Commander. Go get Williams and get the hell out of here.
Screw that! We can handle ourselves. Go back and get Alenko.
And so, the choice. You know, it's funny. For me, this is a... It's both an easy choice, but also a tough choice. Because I like both of these characters. I do. I like both of them. But there's usually one choice I always end up making. But the thing is, I was talking about this before. My initial plan when I was doing this run is I was going to actually keep Kaidan alive and show him more in this run since I haven't really shown him before. The thing is, a couple of things ended up changing my mind. One, I was looking over some of the stuff for Kaidan, and honestly, I just don't really like some of the stuff they do with him going forward in comparison to Ash. Again, I've never had anything against the voice actor. He does a good job, but it's when a character is not really utilized in a way that could be done where it's like, oh man, that was actually very awesome and memorable and will make players really like that character more. That's not really on the fault of the voice actor. So while I do like Kaidan's voice actor and character, they don't really use him in a way that makes it where you end up liking him more or want to keep him alive more often for runs. Just my opinion on it. In comparison to Ashley, where it felt like one of the main intentions was that they were going to want to do more because considering Ashley's backstory and history, it makes it actually more compelling and interesting to see her grow and accomplish what she does despite her family history. Kaidan doesn't necessarily have that. I mean, he's got his own separate, backstory and such that they do try to expand on going forward with 2 and 3, but to me personally, it's not as interesting as what they do with Ash. Plus, there is as I was saying before, I've been seeing so much of a tendency when it comes to people. I know this is obviously comparing me, someone who's played this series many times for years, in comparison to somebody who is brand new to this series, trying it out for the first time, and not being fully aware of everything, and not necessarily taking the time to really look at things deeper, instead of just simply seeing them at surface value. And that's what I think a lot of players I've been noticing doing recently, whether it be on their YouTube playthroughs or whether it be on streams, because plenty of people have been streaming this on Twitch and such. I've been seeing this tendency that people will immediately judge Ashley at face value and then just want nothing to do with her for the rest of the game and then just leave her to die. Because they judged her the first moment they encountered her, if she said something they perhaps didn't like, and never bothered to give her another chance or to find out more so as to why she kind of felt that way or had that kind of perspective, and just never bothered her giving another chance, to the point where then they always thought that's how she was from service value, and then continued to, well, not really care about them going forward. Even at moments in the game where Shepard is wanting to, the death of of the squad mate that happens here is weighing heavily upon Shepard. The player is just like, I don't care about Ashley, and it's just such a shame that I'm seeing a lot of people who are brand new to this series, who are blind in terms of knowing what's going to happen. Blind playthrough. That's what I mean, that term. They don't know what happens later. They don't know more in regards to the characters and the story, and thus they are making what I would say are uninformed decisions. And it's incredibly unfortunate, because it prevents them from being able to check out and experience other things when it comes to this series that they probably don't realize that they're missing out on, unless afterwards they then do some investigating and, in terms of videos showing, hey, this is what else could happen if you made this choice and such, which I have a tendency to want to do, because I want to know all the different kinds of possible choices and the results, so I can be able to see all the different kinds of things that could happen. It's one of the things I love about various different kinds of games like that, including these games, It's what, look into the amount of different choice and results in Dragon Age Origins alone, and you'll just be blown away by the various different amounts of things that you can experience in that game. So yeah, I ended up deciding, even though I could give Caden some spotlight for this run compared to what I've done before, I feel compelled to want to continue to have Ashley, just to continue showing people that there is more to Ashley than you realize, and that she's actually a better character than others may give her credit for, and that she's not a freaking space racist. I get so tired of that. I'm going to be bringing her with me to the Citadel, by the way, when we encounter that group I was talking about, just so you can see the difference between her and them, and then you'll see who the true racists are. Plus, I unfortunately got locked into a romance with Caden while I was going through this, and we're romancing Garrus, and I don't want the whole, hey, cheating on, one or the other, so sorry, Caden.
Williams, radio Joker and tell him to meet us on the AA tower.
Yes, Commander,
It's the right choice, and you know it, Ash.
I'm sorry, Caden. I had to make a choice.
I understand, Commander. I don't regret a thing.
Sorry, Caden. Plus, how often do you see people make the choice to go to the AA tower instead of going back to the bomb? Now, the thing is, some people think that if you don't go back to the bomb, that it's somehow going to cause like a game over, or that you didn't protect it and so it's going to go off. There's going to be consequences. There really isn't. However, there is a slightly different scene you get. If you go back to the bomb, you're going to be carrying whichever squad mate is back there on your shoulder before the bomb goes off. You're going to see a slightly different scene now if you go to the AA tower and leave whoever is guarding the bomb back there and didn't go back for them. hardly anyone ever makes this choice to go to the tower.
We need to move fast. Can't hold them off here much longer.
Hi, Saren. What do you guys say we have a little chat with Saren?
This has been an impressive diversion, Shepard. My Geth were utterly convinced the Solarians were the real threat. Of course, it was all for nothing. I can't let you disrupt what I've accomplished here. You can't possibly understand what's really at stake.
Why are you doing this?
You've seen the vision from the beacons, Shepard. You of all people should understand what the Reapers are capable of. They cannot be stopped. Do not mire yourself in pointless revolt. Do not sacrifice everything for the sake of petty freedoms. The Protheans tried to fight, and they were utterly destroyed. Trillions dead. But what if they had bowed before the invaders? Would the Protheans still exist? Is submission not preferable to extinction?
No.
Do you really believe the Reapers will let us live?
Now you see why I never came forward with this to the Council. We organics are driven by emotion instead of logic. We will fight even when we know we cannot win. But if we work with the Reapers, if we make ourselves useful, think how many lives could be spared. Once I understood this, I joined Sovereign, though I was aware of the dangers. I had hoped this facility could protect me.
You're afraid Sovereign is influencing you. You're afraid he's controlling your thoughts.
I've studied the effects of indoctrination. The more control Sovereign exerts, the less capable the subject becomes. That is my saving grace. Sovereign needs me to find the conduit. My mind is still my own, for now. But the transformation from ally to servant can be subtle. I will not let it happen to me.
Why are the Geth following Sovereign?
They believe Sovereign to be some kind of god, the pinnacle of their own evolution. But the reaction of their deity is most telling. It is insulted. Sovereign does not desire the pitiful devotions the Geth hurl at it. They are just tools, and no amount of belief on their part will change that. But as tools, they are useful. They will survive the coming invasion. If organic life is to survive, we must also prove we are useful. We must work with the Reapers.
Remember, we will learn more about the whole thing with the Geth working for Sovereign from Legion in 2, finding out that those, in fact, are the heretics who wanted Sovereign to build their better future as opposed to doing it themselves.
Tell me why Sovereign needs the conduit. Tell me what it is. Maybe we can find a way to stop them.
The conduit is the key to your destruction and my salvation. Sovereign needs my help to find it. That is the only reason I have not been indoctrinated.
Sovereign's manipulating you and you don't even know it. You're already under its power.
No, Sovereign needs me. If I find the conduit, I've been promised a reprieve from the inevitable. This is my only hope.
Together we can stop Sovereign. We don't have to submit to the Reapers, we can beat them.
I no longer believe that, Shepard. The visions cannot be denied. The Reapers are too powerful. The only hope of survival is to join with them. Sovereign is a machine. It thinks like a machine. If I can prove my value, I become a resource worth maintaining. There is no other logical conclusion.
You were a Spectre. You were sworn to defend the galaxy. Then you broke that vow to save yourself.
I'm not doing this for myself. Don't you see? Sovereign will succeed. It is inevitable. My way is the only way any of us will survive. I'm forging an alliance between us and the Reapers, between organics and machines. And in doing so, I will save more lives than have ever existed. But you would undo my work. You would doom our entire civilization to complete annihilation. And for that, you must die.
I'll see you again later. We'll meet again, Shepard! What, you thought I was gonna say Spider-Man? So you know what Kaidan is doing? He's holding the line. And then he sees us fly away to safety while he holds the line to make sure the bomb goes off.
All right, everybody, hang on!
Goodbye, Kaidan.
I can't believe Kaidan didn't make it. How could we just leave him down there?
Alenko knew the risks going in. He gave his life to save the rest of us.
It should have been me, Commander. You know that.
It wasn't your call, Williams. I had to choose. I chose you.
I'm sorry, Commander. You saved my life. I'm grateful for that. But it should have been me. Alenko was a superior officer. I would have gladly stayed behind.
Ash, how far are you gonna drive yourself? Are you trying to be a martyr? To redeem your grandfather's honor?
That's not fair.
What the public and the military did to him was unfair, but I don't want to lose a good soldier over it.
Aye, Commander.
Commander, excuse me for interrupting, but I have an idea. I think the beacon you found in Saren's base was similar to the one you found on Eden Prime. It may have filled in the missing pieces of your vision. I might be able to help you put all those pieces together.
I just real quick want to comment on that line, that bit of dialogue there from Shepard to Ashley. To me is, first off, there's nothing there for Kaidan that's similar. You know, like, if Kaidan's saying that, we don't necessarily see something in regards to what happened before. Because there's nothing like that driving Kaidan. Like, what happened with him and that girl and that Turian, that's not something that really drives him. Not like what Ash has had to deal with. What Ashley has had to fight against. The whole thing about the dishonor against her family and their name because of what happened with her grandfather. And Shepard just goes straight for it. Like, are you trying to be a martyr to try and thinking that if you sacrifice yourself that will somehow redeem your grandfather's honor? That's the only way to do that? And she's like, that's not fair, but it's true. And I love there was a dialogue option there. I was tempted to pick it that said, but it's true. Because we know it's true. That's exactly what Ash has actually been kind of thinking towards. You know? That believing that would somehow do that. And we kind of find out some of that in the news reports in Mass Effect 2 if Ashley does in fact die here. But what I love is that she accomplishes that redeeming of her family's honor the honor of her family name without having to become a martyr. And I'm so proud of Ashley for doing that. I just want to comment on that.
You want to join our minds again, don't you? Okay, go ahead.
Relax, Commander. Embrace eternity. Incredible. I never thought the images would be so intense. I need a moment to collect myself.
Did the vision make any sense to you?
It's a distress call. A message sent out across the Prothean Empire. A warning against the Reapers, but the warning came too late.
What about the conduit?
There were other images, locations, places I recognized from my research. Ilos! The conduit is on Ilos! That is why Saren needed to find the Mu Relay. It is the only way to get to Ilos.
How come you never told us about Ilos before?
The Mu Relay links to dozens of systems and hundreds of worlds. How was I to know Ilos was the one we wanted? Without the cipher, the images in your visions were never clear. Only now do I recognize them as landmarks from Ilos.
We need to get to Ilos.
Forget it. The Mu Relay's inside the Terminus systems. Alliance ships are not welcome there. Neither are Spectres.
The conduit's on Ilos. That's where Saren's heading. I'll be waiting for him when he gets there.
Saren will have his entire fleet orbiting Ilos. You will never make it down to the surface without reinforcements. You must alert the Council. We need a fleet to... I am sorry. The joining is exhausting. I should go to the medical bay and lie down for a moment.
We're done here. Dismissed.
Commander, there's a comm buoy nearby. I can link us in if you want to report back to the Citadel Council. You know, to warn them about Sovereign.
Set the link up, Joker. They need to know.
Patching it through.
Commander Shepard, I'm pleased to see your mission on Vermar was a success.
Saren is formidable enough without an army of Krogan serving under him.
The Krogan would have served Sovereign, a Reaper.
Ah yes, Reapers.
We saw mention of this on your report. Sovereign, Ascension machine, a true artificial intelligence. This news is quite alarming, if it turns out to be accurate.
Sovereign's a Reaper. Saren admitted it.
He's playing you, Shepard. Saren still has contacts on the Citadel. He probably saw your earlier reports, the ones talking about your vision and the Reapers.
It's highly possible Saren is using false information to throw you off balance. Our own intelligence has never turned up any corroborating information.
Sooner or later, you're gonna have to take something I say on faith, Counselor.
Try to see this from our perspective, Commander. Saren is a threat we can recognize. However, as far as we know, the Reapers only exist in your visions.
Our decisions affect trillions of lives. We cannot act on the accusations of a single person, even a Spectre. Not without solid evidence.
The Council cannot take any official action here. That is why we created the Spectres. You have the authority to act as you see fit.
If you truly believe Sovereign is the real threat, you must take whatever steps are necessary to stop it. And Saren.
Good luck, Commander. From all of us.
So, normally I would cut it off here. However, there's one thing I have to check. Looks like we were able to save them, but I want to be certain. Yes! They're here.
It was an honor working with you, Commander Shepard. Despite the losses, our mission was a success. Lieutenant Alenko's actions will not go unnoticed. His sacrifice has earned humanity a great deal of respect from my people.
Caden was a fine officer. He knew what the risks were, but he did what he had to.
Of course. The grim reality that every soldier must accept. Rest assured, Commander, my men and I will not forget what you have accomplished here. We will leave your ship as soon as you reach your next destination. Perhaps we will have the opportunity to work together again someday.
Yep, I'll see you in Mass Effect 3.
You have my gratitude, Commander. Most people would have left our team behind. The captain considers the mission a success. I defer to his judgment.
Glad I could help.
Good luck, Commander Shepard.
Okay, so now that I know that they survived, I feel better, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off here after we just spent the last hour on Vermeer. When we return, we will more than likely be heading to the Citadel to begin the endgame, since we will then have the conversation with the Council, which will then lead to them grounding us, and we'll be on the Citadel for a little while, which is fine. It'll give me the opportunity to go ahead and do some other stuff, plus show you guys something kind of important. But yeah, anyways, stay tuned.